Black Myth Wukong will be available physically on PS5 very soon. The game was recently rated by the ESRB. So I seen this news and I actually thought it was pretty cool. I personally haven't had the opportunity to play Black Myth Wukong yet because it was one of those things, the fact that it was only available on PC and PS5 digitally. I never really had any interest to get it. I'm not the biggest fan of paying for games digitally. I prefer to actually have a physical copy of it. So that's kind of was the case for me in that regard. And then it was one of those things later on that it was kind of found out that, the CCP, so the Chinese government, was the one that funded this game. So there are, some people that were making statements that if you pretty much support this game, you are supporting the Chinese communist government, which I personally don't want to do. Nothing against the Chinese people or China in general. China seems like a very beautiful place, and if I ever have the opportunity, I would love to visit it one of these days. But as far as their government goes, I mean, and that's not saying much because I mean, I'm not a big fan of our own government here in the States. But as far as their government goes, I prefer not to support them in any type of way just because I don't agree with a lot of the things they do. But as far as the game goes, it seems like a really fun game. I've seen a lot of great things, I've heard a lot of great things. So I would, if given the opportunity, like to actually give it a try, see how it goes, and see how fun it is from what people have said. So I think it'd be pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and check out the article here. So let's go ahead and see what we got. So Black Myth Wukong will be physically available on PS5 very soon, according to the developers' Game Science. In a post to X, it claimed that the RPG, which was released earlier this year digitally on PC and PS5, will soon be available in a physical edition for the console. No word on a release date was given. Black Myth Wukong was recently rated by the ESRB for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, which is required to release physical versions in territories covered by the ratings board. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it is one of those things, obviously, with, different countries deciding to go about it different ways. They do have to kind of go that route. But I think that's awesome that they were able to find out that there is a chance that it is going to get a physical release from them. So I think that's pretty cool. So Game Science announced in June that Xbox version of Black Myth Wukong has been delayed due to internal quality concerns. However, it was subsequently been reported that the delay was due to Sony striking an undisputed console exclusive deal for the game, which in a way is, I mean, it is what it is, but at the same time, I'm sure there was a lot of Xbox players that would have liked the chance to be able to play it. So that's a win for them in my book. And then we'll continue on. Black Myth Wukong DLC is reportedly planning to release in early of 2025. According to Chinese-based journalist and games industry consultant Daniel Camillo, Game Science wants to launch an expansion for the game to coincide with the Chinese New Year, which begins January 29th, 2025. So I honestly think that is really smart marketing right there. The fact that they do want to release it close to the Chinese New Year, just because obviously in China, from what I've heard, the Chinese people, they did like the game as well. So if they are going to try to go for a release date closer to that time, I'm sure a lot of Chinese individuals would be happy to see that, as well as the fact that Chinese New Year, though not like heavily celebrated, it is one of those things. It people here in the States as well do kind of announce when it is happening and acknowledge that it is a thing. So I'm sure there's many people, not just Chinese included, but like many other Americans out there that would love to be able to get this game in lieu of the Chinese New Year, just to kind of give their little celebration to the people and everything. So I'll go ahead and continue on. VSG Black Myth Wukong final impression called the game a beautiful, if slightly boring, boss rush, saying it's utterly gorgeous and technically mighty, but its gameplay and narrative leave quite a bit to be desired. So that's one of the things too in regards to this game. Chances are people here in the West most likely aren't going to know the story behind the game too much, because one of the people that I like to watch stream this game when they was Philip Chan. So for anyone that doesn't know, he has a podcast called Project Eggroll, and it is one of those things. I was able to watch him play the game, and I really appreciated being able to watch him play it because he is a Chinese individual who has grown up with the stories from the game. So Journey to the West, I believe. And he talked about how the game itself was very honorable for the game, and it stayed true to the lore and everything, and that being a continuation from that original story, he said that he loved it. It was something that he really loved, he enjoyed, and he really appreciated the story. I didn't hear the same kind of narrative from people here in the West that, were pretty much born in the States, that never really got to get that story. Because personally, as someone that grew up in the States, I never heard, like, I've heard of the journey to the West, but I didn't actually get to hear like what the story is about and what goes on in it. And watching someone like Phil, he did say that it was one of those things, like it is like a folklore that he was grown up with and he was able to understand. So hearing that the game did so well with it, I think that's really cool. But it did kind of leave some other people that didn't quite know the story with a little bit, like it says here, with a bit to be desired. But at the same time, I feel like chances are there has to be some individuals out there that really enjoyed the game so much that they decided to go back. I feel like chances are, if I get the opportunity to play this game, I feel like I might decide to kind of do that. Go back, figure out what the story is to kind of get a little bit more lore, and then see if we can continue on from that point as far as playing the game. Especially considering the fact that there's rumors out there that they're actually coming out with a sequel for the game. So it'd be pretty cool. Let's see here. And then the game, which was developed by Shenzhen based studio Game Science and is based on Chinese novel Journey to the West, see, there we go, was released for the PC and PS5 on Tuesday. Within hours of release, it attracted over 1.44 million concurrent players on Steam, according to Tracker's Steam charts, which means it's already the platform's fourth biggest game ever in terms of concurrent players. The concurrent play number crossed 2 million on Thursday. So, again, that's really fucking cool to hear, especially considering, how, like I said, how well that this game did as far as, staying true to the original story. So I think this is pretty cool. Chances are, if it, like I said, if it does come out physically, I think I am more than likely going to get a copy of it just so I can give it a shot, see what it's like. Because I've seen a lot of people play it, and yes, it does look like a fun game. It does look like something that's very enjoyable, and it looks like something that I feel like I would have a great time playing. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this video this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.